Good evening. I would like to call the Raytown Board of Alderman Committee of the Whole, August 12, 2025, to order at 6 p.m. on the dot. I will now ask, well, first of all, let me read that due to technical issue, the streaming on Channel 7 at Comcast will not be working tonight. It will be played later after they have recorded it and get the problem fixed. They've been working on it and they haven't got it done yet. So this meeting and the one for the Board of Aldermen meeting will not be live streamed. It'll be on computer and other things. So, Ms. Henry, would you please call the roll?
Alderman Mims,
Yes, I'm in here.
Alderman Hayden, Alderman Krizak,
Yes, or here.
Alderman Emerson,
Here.
Alderman Tush,
Here.
Alderman Walters, Alderman Azier,
Here.
Alderman Morales,
Here.
Alderman Garza,
Here.
All right, we have a quorum. I would like a motion for approval of June 3rd, 2025 Committee of the Whole meeting minutes. Do I hear one?
So moved to approve.
Ms. Emerson, and
Oh,
second
I'm sorry.
by Ms. Mims. Any conversation? Seeing none, call the roll, please.
Alderman Emerson,
Yes.
Alderman Mims,
Yes.
Alderman Walters, Alderman Tush,
Here. Yes.
Alderman Azier,
Yes.
Alderman Hayden, Alderman Morales,
Yes.
Alderman Garza,
Yes.
Alderman Krizak,
Yes.
All right, motion carries. We'll move on now to the fiscal year 2025-2026 departmental budget presentations. The first one up is none other than Her Honor herself, Judge Traci Fann. Want to turn on your mic?
Sorry, good evening. So my budget this year is pretty much the same as it is every year. Most of our budget goes to personnel for salaries and benefits and things of that nature. And then just the general office supplies, anything you would need to run an office, printing forms and things of that nature. The only thing I think that we've added this year was we did add 2 laptops because our laptops are over 5 years old. So that was the only additional thing I think that we added that would be out of the ordinary, and a printer because our printer at the counter, it like shuts off and we have to shut it off, turn it on to print. And that's our main printer we use for printing receipts when people pay. So those were the 3 additional items that we added this year. Other than that, I think the one thing that we did go down on is we were able to delete the Tyler Technology because we got all of our warrants entered in the Missouri Show Me courts now, so we no longer need to have the extra Tyler Technology feature for the court. So that saved about $20-something thousand.
Very good.
Does anyone have
Anything
any
else?
questions?
Anybody have questions? Well, you got off the hook easy, didn't you?
Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, citywide government body administration law, Diane Eggers, city administrator, what do you have?
Yes, good evening. So citywide, just start off with a couple of items, not just in the citywide budget, but just overall as the city. This budget year, we are looking at a $1.6 million of revenues more than expenses. So that's good news.
Can you say that again? I'm sorry.
We have $1.6 million of revenues over expenses.
Okay.
The staff
good
will
thing.
receive a 2% COLA. Then these are some of the highlighted change, the high level changes. Staff will receive a 2% COLA. ARPA funds have been spent and are, gone. So that you'll see that reflected as we go through the budget. And then there will be a more of a detailed line item budget for everyone in the next few weeks. Okay. We're still kind of hammering out all the fine details. So this is kind of high level overview, which is what you have before you. It was just a real rough estimate of stuff that we're working on after hours working with Mr. Graham, Mr. Bales, and the department heads. So So citywide, we'll start off with citywide. As you all know, but no one's watching live stream right now, and when people watch this, citywide is just what it says. It's citywide. We have stuff, large city projects, household hazardous waste events, recycling events, cleanup coupons. Those are all included in the citywide budget. If you look at the trend, we are down, and that is because of ARPA. So when you see that on your citywide budget page, 3.5 million roughly, and then it goes down to 1.2 million, and that is predominantly because of the ARPA projects. One of the few increases that we've added to the citywide would be for the World Cup. So we've added $40,000 for printing and promotions, along with some other expenditures. But those, when you get your line items, you'll be able to see all that. But otherwise, that is it for citywide. The governing body, chamber events, holiday lighting event, receptions, Truman Heartland, those kinds of items come out of the governing body account, and that is pretty stagnant, as you could see from the printout that you were given. It's pretty stagnant. There's some decrease in incidental costs, liability insurance that is projected has decreased. The farmer's market was removed. So that's why you just see a very slight change in the governing body. Moving right along, it's pretty speedy, but administration. So administration, in charge of daily operations, as you all know, human resources, city clerks, department, economic development, and information technology. So those are the departments or the functions of administration. Some of the changes that you will see, you'll see just a slight increase if you look at the projected trend for the 5-year budget trend, just a slight increase. We added an additional HR person that was last year's budget, but that is also just reflected here. Even though that this person was brought on last year, mid-budget, it's still reflected in this amount. Computer services were up a bit. FICA was up and loggers was up. Those are the main things that went up. Law department, no changes, virtually no changes. So I have reached out to the city prosecutor, so we're going to look at the contract just to, but there's no changes as of today. So. And probably one of the biggest changes that we're going to see this year is in community development. It is my plan to separate animal services into its own department. So we will have an animal services department and a community development department. So I'll first just kind of go over the community development portion. As you can see in the 5-year budget trend, community development is down around 400,000, and that is because that's been moved to the animal services department. We will take 2 of the staff. We have 2 animal control staff. They will be leaving community development for the animal services department. So that's also will be reflected when you see the line item budget that you will get in the next few weeks that will just really detail it out. Then that's when you'll see the personnel. So we're going to take 2 of the animal control personnel over to animal services department, and then we are also going to add some staff to that department, and I will talk about the animal services department in just a minute. But so community development, you'll see just a decrease from staff, and moving some of those funds. We tried to separate whatever office supplies and look at it more detailed. Whatever they didn't need in community development, we just moved over to animal services, tried to make that as fair as possible. So that's why you see a decrease in community development. Now, community development will still have the 4 divisions: code enforcement, business licensing, planning and zoning, and building inspections. So those are the 4 main divisions that will remain in community development. And just to highlight something that you guys had on your strategic plan last year, which I was going to touch on later, but I might as well tell you now. So the strategic plan, I reached out to Steve Arbo. We've been talking. He is going to reach out to all of you on Friday, send a survey, and get that back on track to present something to you in the next few weeks. So that is something that's coming September 2nd, I believe, is the date that he plans to come here and present what he's talked to you about after he reaches out and re-engages again on Friday. Okay, just as a heads up. But and as a side note, codes cases have increased by 100%, and tickets for code enforcement have increased by 150%. And I wanted to touch a little bit from community development on the minor home repair program. We had 20 projects as the goal for last year. We have already done 15, and then 7 are in progress. And then some in the queue, but so it looks like we're going to do 22 total projects, which would be 2 over what what the goal amount was for the projects. So switching to animal control, as you look into your animal control budget, 5-year trend, there is no real trend because it's the first year. But it's almost an exact match of what was taken out of community development has been put into animal services. It's just almost the same exact amount. So the plan is to have the 2 individuals that do animal control for community development move over into the animal services department, to hire 1 more animal control officer, and then 2 part-time animal care attendants is what we will call them. And they'll be part-time to take care of the animals after hours, because if we're housing animals, taking care of animals, then we'll need somebody to check in on them, walk them, clean the kennels if something happens. So that is the plan, to hire 1 full-time animal control officer and 2 part-time. Okay. And they'll have an animal services administrator, and then that person will report to me. So it'll be animal services administrator, 2 animal control officers, and 2 part-time animal care attendants.
Did you have a question on that, Ms. Carson?
A couple, real fast. So you said 2 animal care attendants, 2
2 part-time, yeah.
part-time. Part-time, okay, and then 2,
2 full-time animal control officers, but 1 new. So we have 2 that are moving over.
you'll be hiring, so 3.
Yes, so 3 total, 2 part-time.
Okay, and then,
Want to turn on your microphone?
oh, I thought it was on. Sorry.
Sorry about that. I thought it was on. And then on the Steve Arbo thing, so he's going to send out a survey. Are we not meeting with him like we've done in the past, or is it just going to be a survey?
He's going to send that on Friday. You could reach out to him. I believe that is the plan.
Right, and then
Interesting.
will meet with us at that time when he has it, because he's already met with you guys, and he'll put all that stuff together and have all the information together, and then he will meet with all of us at that time,
Together.
together.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That was what I was asking, because it seemed like that part wasn't happening. That's what I was
No,
asking.
that's definitely happening on the
Okay.
2nd. That's what you said on the 2nd is going to happen.
Okay, well, I thought, so, okay.
This Friday, we'll
My
send
interpretation
everybody.
was different. I thought that you meant he was going to send out the survey and then he would meet with us individually, but I didn't realize it's going to be all together.
So this Friday, he will send out a survey. Anybody that wants to reach out to him obviously can. And then he's going to present whatever you all come up with from those meetings, previous meetings, and the reach out on Friday. He will then bring forth for presentation September 2nd.
And the survey is based on a lot of the information he got from speaking with you all early on.
Thank you.
You bet. Anybody else? All right. Thank you, Ms.
That's it.
Hager. Appreciate it.
Any questions?
Now,
Yeah.
finance, you done with all that, right?
I am, unless
Okay.
there's any other questions.
Just want to make sure.
Rita, yeah.
No other questions? All right, finance, sewer, capital sales tax, TIF, and risk management, Michael Graham. What do you got for us?
Thank you. Everything you just said is what I've got for you tonight, but wanted to point out the software we put into place, the budget software, which was in the FY25 budget. The handouts that we showed you in the packet itself are a product of that. So as Diane said, as we get closer to September, we'll have a draft budget that's line item detailed for that. This is a fluid budget too. That's the other thing I always want to point out to you. As a draft, there's things that could change. You mentioned stuff that maybe not in there, you want to see changed, or stuff that we find that we have to adjust for. So it's fluid, and we'll tell you as we go along. In the budget itself, sales tax is no growth from the current year. What we're seeing the trends on this year, very, very little gain, so I just left it, John and I just left it at what it was budgeted for in FY25. Property tax, you'll see a slight increase in the property tax levy amounts, but the actual assessments went down slightly. And one last thing, you'll see a more detail, like I said, but coming up also, you'll see more graphs and several years compared as far as expenses and revenues are concerned. So you'll get kind of a trend or a look at what the actual and budgeted were for several years. So on the finance side, we had a gain of about 6% in the salaried or the personnel side. That's due in part to personnel, the 2% COLA, as Diane had mentioned. In addition, we saw an increase in insurances, workers' comp, and the property side. Also on the capital expense side, as I mentioned, we implemented the budget software this year. It was about $30,000 or $28,000 we had budgeted for the capital side on finance last year, FY25, FY26, we've taken that out. And we have annual maintenance, which will be in professional services. Our personnel count is staying the same. So there's no change in that at all from year to year. The other component we have as far as an operational budget side is sewer. 501s was classified as. And on that particular budget, one of the things that I'll tell you straight out is that we don't anticipate raising the fees this year on the sewer fund. Last year, we ended up with about a 3.25 or 3.5 increase in sewer rates. This year, we're going to leave it steady. So we've got a fund balance that's usable. There's not that many projects in the budget itself as far as sewer was concerned. We're coming off the ARPA, as Diane said, and a lot of projects were going there. We see when we talk on the stormwater fund, you'll see where we've got a lot of projects related to the GO bonds. So there's just shift or a difference in what we'll see as far as projects are concerned. The sewer collection is up from last year. In FY25, the projected is about $300,000 higher, and we just continued that as far as the revenue we're going to receive. So it's about, went up about $300,000 on that. On the finance side, for the 501 or for the sewer, personnel is down $58,502. That's the result. I had a part-time and not a part-time employee that I was going to bring in. My lead sewer clerk's retiring. I wanted somebody in to learn the job before she left. That's not happened, and she's not retiring at the moment. So I'm just taking that out of there. Overall sewer expenses increased as far as the charges were concerned. It went up about 3.2%, and that's related to our normal increases that we see from KCMO and Little Blue Valley. And again, the positions remain constant on that. A little side note, the other large item that we have paid out of this is the debt service payments. We've got three different debt service items. One was from 2006, another from 2007, and another from 2013. This is the last year for the 2006. So next year we'll have two in place, and the 2007 falls off after next year. So FY27 we see the second one come off, and then in 2028 we'll see the final one come off. So eventually we won't have any debt in the sewer fund itself. And future, if we have to do another major project, we may look at doing the state again as far as the debt. On the capital sales tax side, that particular area has a listing of major projects, and we've got a camera system upgrade. I think it's system-wide here. City fountain, which will go across the street, which we're out for bid coming up, I believe. Community development's got a counter which Public Works has been working on for the last year or so. IT equipment and software licenses and upgrades. We've got 3 vehicles to purchase for PD, vehicle computers system-wide, workstations, and APX 6000 radio system for for PD. And then on the other side, Public Works has a couple of vehicles they're replacing, and Community Development's got 1 in there. Overall, the budget decreased in capital items $1,015,000. Again, we had ARPA projects in the capital side also. And so as we tailor down or go down with the ARPA projects, you'll start seeing decreases. You'll see a decrease here, and you'll also see a decrease in stormwater. On the TIF's main expense is debt service. And we've got the 1 debt service out there for that was renewed in 19. That expires, or that is paid up in full in 2031. The rest of the expenses and revenues fairly static on that side. Miscellaneous revenue, and I should have mentioned this before, any revenue items that we have related to any kind of investments will be down this year compared to FY25. What we learned from our investment banking people is that we've dropped out of the 4% range, and it's going to drop into the mid 3.5 range this next year, is what they project. Now, whether it does or not, we don't know, but we'll still invest at the best rate we can acquire. So it may be 4% again, I don't know. Risk management is the last area. On this one, the expense side is staying flat. And risk management usually will go up or down based on the number of claims we have that we pay out for ourselves or other situations where the city pays out. This year, we're not seeing any uptick on payment of claims. In fact, it's lower than normal. So we're just we're budgeting for about the same amount we did last year. Hopefully, it won't go into that higher range. The revenue side, you see 53,000 or 50-some thousand in there. Typically, we pull about 80,000 over from the general fund. But with the expenses being down, the FY25 amount of 80,000, we're not going to pull that over unless something really blows up in this fund itself. So we're going to leave that money over in the general fund. And this year, we're just flat out not budgeting for any money coming from the general fund to risk. Now, if something happens where we get major claims or major payouts that we have to have, we'll come back to you and get it set up so that we can pull the money back over to the fund itself. Fund balance is healthy. It's got about 211,000 in it at the moment. So if there is some expense that comes through, it's higher than what is budgeted. We'll use some of that money in the fund to take it down slightly before we'd come back and talk. And that is my presentation on the different areas. Any questions?
Anyone have any questions? Ms. Mims?
I don't have a question, but what I'm liking is the breakdown of the details of these reports, where it's very easy to read, you can follow it, you know where you are, where you're at right now, your projections, they're all here. So I just want to say thank you to you all for this, because this is awesome.
Thank you.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Anybody else have any questions? All right. Do I have a motion for adjournment?
So move to adjourn.
Second.
I think Mr. Rader had the first. Mims had the second. Call roll, please.
Alderman Azier,
Yes.
Alderman Mims,
Yes.
Alderman Hayden.
Yes.
Alderman Krizak,
Yes.
Alderman Emerson,
Yes.
Alderman Toth,
Yes.
Alderman Morales,
Yes.
Alderman Garza.
Yes.
All right. We are adjourned at 6:25. We'll see you back here at 7 PM for the regular Board of Aldermen meeting. Thank you all very much for your presentation. Fantastic.